Now at 5:30, people are gathering to share their thoughts on proposed F-35 jets in Madison. And big numbers for Aaron Rodgers today against the Oakland Raiders. We'll share the highlights.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5:30.
We start tonight with an update just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center. The Baraboo Rope Rescue Team has rescued a 62-year-old man who reportedly fell off a bluff at Devil's Lake State Park. Deputies say the man from Illinois fell off the West Bluff this afternoon. MedFlight was on scene to transport him to UW Hospital once he was rescued. We're still waiting to hear an update on his condition. Make sure to stay with Channel 3000 and News 3 Now for the latest on this story. Today, neighbors of Blooming Grove are gathering at Thurber Park to make their voices heard about the proposed F-35 jets coming to Madison. Gabriella Becerra joins us to share how this community is doing just that.
This gathering featured community members, many of which that say they are affected by jet noise from Truax Field. Some community members say they feel as though their opinion on bringing the proposed F-35 jets to Madison are not being heard, but they say they're not going to give in that easily.
Speaking out.
Did you fill one out yet?
In writing.
We decided to try to directly connect with people and have them write out their comments and questions in the form of a postcard.
Safe Skies Clean Water Wisconsin is asking community members to send their comments and questions about F-35 jets to the Air Force.
We need as much democracy as possible right now, and our representatives are not taking a strong enough stand. And so we need to get as much as the public voice to speak up on this issue.
Most of this gathering says no F-35s.
I'm scared. I'm terrified. That's why we were just sort of channeling our energy into something positive.
Jenny Capolero lives in a neighborhood already affected by the F-16 jet noise.
They're really loud. They're barely tolerable to me. Some people are more sensitive to it than others, but I personally find it like you have to cover your ears.
And she doesn't want the F-35s to move to Madison.
This doesn't make sense for a densely populated urban area. This is something that needs to happen. It needs to happen in an area where there aren't people living, and schools and kids and playgrounds and parks.
Representative Chris Taylor shares similar thoughts.
These planes do not belong in residential areas. They are too loud. They will disturb, if not really ruin, some of our neighborhoods.
Taylor says the noise is going to affect the entire Near East side of Madison.
The F-35s are going to have a disproportionate impact on low-income people, on people of color, and kids.
So until November 1st,
it's their only opportunity to speak out right now.
This neighborhood will continue to voice their thoughts.
Safe Skies Clean Water Wisconsin is hosting opportunities for community members to write postcards to the Air Force until October 24th. While this organization says they don't want F-35s in Madison, those who do support the fighter jets can also write to the Air Force.
All right, thank you so much. Aaron Rodgers had one of his best games of the season in the win over the Oakland Raiders today. The Green Bay Packers beat the Raiders 42-24 at Lambeau this afternoon. Rodgers threw for nearly 430 yards and 5 touchdowns today. Melissa Kim will have a full recap coming up in sports in about 20 minutes. Let's get a look at your First Alert weather now with Dana Fulton. A pretty beautiful fall day today, Dana.
Really, this afternoon turned out to be nice. A lot of sunshine, comfortable temperatures above average. This morning, though, of course, we did start off with quite a fog deck in place. Looking at our visible cloud track, actually, you can see that fog this morning finally burning off around noon, and then this afternoon has been just wonderful outside. We're at 62 currently in Madison. Again, our average highs for this time of year are in the upper 50s, so we are just a little bit above average still. 64 in Janesville. About 59 in Black River Falls. Compared to this time yesterday, it is a little bit of a jump in our temperatures. That's the good news. Our breeze, though, still pretty calm. Expect that to pick on up overnight and as we head into tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to bring the chance for some showers and very windy conditions later on in the day. But we'll take a closer look at what's ahead for the start of your work week in just a few minutes. Amanda?
Thank you, Dana. Tomorrow, Wisconsin Democrats will try one last time to block the so-called lame duck laws. The state Supreme Court will hear oral arguments in a union lawsuit challenging the provisions. This summer, the Republican-controlled High Court upheld the statutes. The laws prohibit Governor Tony Evers from withdrawing the state from lawsuits and require Attorney General Josh Kaul to get Republican permission before settling lawsuits. In Rock County, Beloit police say a Milwaukee man was shot early this morning. The shooting happened on the 900 block of Keeler Avenue around 5:15. The 50-year-old male victim was taken to the hospital with a gunshot wound to his left leg. Police say he's expected to be okay. That incident remains under investigation. Police in Whitewater are investigating after a person was hit by a car around 10:30 this morning. Officers say they responded to a report of a pedestrian hit by a vehicle in the 1300 block of West Main Street. The driver stayed on scene and talked with officers. That incident is under investigation. 2 people are recovering after a crash this morning in Fitchburg. Around 11:30 this morning, police were called to the crash on South Fish Hatchery Road. None of the injuries are considered life-threatening. 2 construction cranes came crashing down this afternoon in New Orleans after a hotel collapse last week. 3 workers were killed last weekend when the half-finished Hard Rock Hotel caved in the city's historic French Quarter. 1 body has been removed, but the bodies of 2 other victims are still trapped in the building. A lawsuit has been filed against the companies involved in the hotel's construction. Authorities in Pennsylvania are investigating after a possible gas explosion caused a massive fire. Around 3 a.m. Eastern Time, a report came in that at least 10 row homes were on fire in Allentown. Police say at least 1 person remains unaccounted for. At least 21 residents have been displaced. President Trump made a rare reversal Saturday night, saying he's dropped plans to hold next year's Group of 7 World Leaders Conference at his Florida golf resort. The backtrack follows stinging criticism that the president was using his office for profit. Tom Hansen reports from New York.
President Trump announced late Saturday night that he will not hold next June's G7 conference at his golf resort in Doral, Florida. In a tweet, he blamed the media and what he called Democrat-crazy and irrational hostility for his decision. Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney doubled down on Fox Sunday.
I think he thinks that people think it looks lousy. I think it's the right decision to change. We'll have to find someplace else, and my guess is we'll find someplace else that the media won't like either for another reason.
Mulvaney first announced Thursday that Doral was chosen for the important gathering of foreign world leaders.
Doral was by far and away the best physical facility for this meeting.
He also insisted there was nothing improper about hosting the summit at Doral because the president would not earn a profit.
Just look at the terrible foreign corruption of the Bidens.
The announcement also came the same day Mr. Trump accused Democratic candidate Joe Biden and his family of using politics to profit.
The Bidens got rich while America got robbed.
But criticism came fast, charging the president is using his office to enrich himself.
The president ought to be focusing not on sending a G7 to his hotel, but on what we're going to do about ISIS. When we met with the president, it was clear he had no real plan.
According to the Constitution, all federal employees are prohibited from accepting any gift or fee from a foreign government. In his tweet Saturday, Mr. Trump said Camp David is under consideration. Last week, Mulvaney dismissed that idea. Tom Hansen, CBS News.
According to the Washington Post, business at Doral is slow, with profits dropping nearly 70% between 2015 and 2017. The resort also attracts fewer guests in June because of excessive heat and humidity, meaning the summit could have helped compensate for a seasonal lag in revenue. Coming up next on News 3 Now at 5:30, upgraded your iPhone but not sure what's new? Consumer Reports will show you some of the fun features and some that are there to keep your information safe. Welcome back. Maybe you just got a brand new iPhone 11 or you upgraded your older phone with the new operating system. Either way, Consumer Reports says there are lots of new features with Apple's latest iOS, everything from fun new emojis to important privacy controls.
Just when you figured out how to use emojis, Apple's latest operating system offers a bunch of new ways to communicate with customizable Memoji. That's an animated emoji that you can personalize to look like you with braces, piercings, hairstyles, and lots more. And new camera features give you more control over both the position and intensity of the lighting, producing excellent quality pictures based on Consumer Reports' extensive lab testing. But it's not all fun and improved photos. Apple has also added important new privacy and security features in iOS 13, designed to give you more control over the information you share. Take Apple's new sign-on service, which lets you sign into different apps through Apple instead of creating new logins and passwords. Another useful new feature, iOS 13 also offers randomly generated email addresses.
Now, what this will let you do is sign up for mailing lists or provide an email address to a website that isn't necessarily your email, but it'll forward to your email. So if you ever get sick hearing from that app or website, you can just delete it and move on.
And if you don't like the idea of apps tracking your every move, the new iOS offers location tracking limits.
This will grant an app one-time access to your location. If that app wants to know where you are again, it's going to have to ask you again.
So don't be surprised if you see privacy messages from Apple popping up more often.
While some Apple users are enjoying the new features this software update has to offer, others have some complaints, including issues such as dropped calls and a shorter battery life. A visual timeline of artifacts are teaching people what they can't learn in school. That's what organizers say today's Native American Indian Artifact Show is all about. For its 40th year, the Badger State Archaeological Society presented the public with 90 tables of historic and prehistoric artifacts, some dating back to 12,000 years ago, when people were hunting woolly mammoths. Visitors could purchase some of the artifacts, but others were just for show. Organizers say all of the artifacts are authentic.
It's amazing just to see that stuff and just wonder, what did they use this for? What did they kill with this? How did they survive with just these tools?
If you find what you believe is a Native American Indian artifact, organizers say you can bring it to the show to identify it and determine its worth. Badger State hosts 4 shows a year, but the next one in Monticello is scheduled for October 18th, 2020. Coming up next, Dana is tracking the chance for thunderstorms to start off your work week. Your first alert forecast is after the break.
Again, today did start off with a little bit of fog, but this afternoon turned out to be really nice with some sun coming through and those temperatures climbing right on up once we finally got rid of the fog and the sunshine came on in. Fortunately, it seems like we got a lot of bugs flying around our Edgewater sky cam right now. High temperatures today at about 66 degrees, almost 10 degrees above average. We started the day off in the upper 40s. Of course, with that fog, we didn't drop quite as much overnight, so we should be falling to the upper 30s for our overnight lows. And sunset's right around the corner just after 6 o'clock. Doppler track is quiet right now. That's the good news. The rest of your evening should be nice and dry, but you can already see a few light showers starting to form well off to the west in Iowa and Minnesota. Those shower chances will continue to push towards us overnight. The center of this low pressure right now in the Dakotas bringing showers, as you can see, stretching all the way down through Nebraska and into parts of Kansas. Snow behind that. Now, we're not expecting any of those light snow showers to build into our direction, but as our high pressure that kept us clear today shifts further east, that's just making room for this next system to slide on through, and it's setting us up for a bit of a soggy start to the work week for Monday. Overnight, the clouds build on in, and by tomorrow morning for your commute, especially along the western edge of the state, we'll see those shower chances develop. Most of the rain really comes through, though, in the late morning and early afternoon. We're looking at scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms possible. Not really any severe weather threat, but there could be some heavier rainfall at times. Notice the center of that low crosses right over northern Wisconsin. That means we're so close to it, it's going to be a little windy outside tomorrow. Wind speeds anywhere from 15 to 25 miles per hour, especially later in the day once that front crosses. We could even have wind gusts closer to 35 miles per hour. By Monday night, we're still mostly cloudy. There is going to be a slight chance for some rain early Tuesday morning, but in the afternoon as that wraparound moisture pulls further east, we're really not looking at any rain chances developing later in the day. Rainfall totals could be a little over an inch for most of southern Wisconsin, really hovering anywhere between 1/2 inch to an inch of accumulation. Some isolated areas could pick up just a little more, especially if we start seeing those heavier rainfall thunderstorms start trailing each other. But overall, again, about 1/2 inch to an inch for tomorrow heading into Tuesday morning. Overnight temperatures won't drop too much just because our skies will become mostly cloudy, really just into the low 50s for our overnight lows. Tomorrow morning, we have the shower chances developing and staying with us through most of the day. The heavier rainfall opportunities will be mainly in the afternoon. A few light showers possible overnight and for early Tuesday morning. Tuesday afternoon, we might see a little bit of clearing later on, but overall plan on a mostly cloudy sky. Overnight low of about 51 degrees tonight. That low will come just a little after midnight, and then plan on our temperatures climbing just a little bit during the morning. The shower chances will develop and stay through Monday. Keep the umbrella on hand as we will have those showers throughout the day. Again, our sustained wind speeds anywhere from 15 to 25 miles per hour. Those wind gusts, though, they could be picking up a little closer to 35 miles per hour. Chance for some showers early on Tuesday morning, and our temperatures will drop quite a bit for our afternoon highs on Tuesday into the upper 40s. Wednesday, we're back to the low 50s, still mostly cloudy, though. And then by Thursday and Friday, we get a little more dry air moving in. Slight chance for some showers on Thursday, but notice temperatures, again, much cooler in the mid 40s for afternoon highs on Thursday and Friday. Even with the sunshine, that's going to feel pretty cool outside on Friday.
Yeah, so keep that umbrella with you for a few days.
For a few days, definitely good to have on hand.
All right, thank you so much, Dana. Aaron Rodgers throwing touchdowns and breaking records today against the Raiders. Highlights and postgame next in sports.
Love is out.
All right, so still no Devontae Adams for the Packers today, but the late adds of Geronimo Allison and Marquez Valdez-Scantling proving to be pretty important today against the Raiders, a team that hasn't beat Green Bay since 1987. Aaron Rodgers with a phenomenal day on the field. Check it out, 3-0 Raiders. Rodgers to Aaron Jones, the wide receiver now. Stunning touchdown there, 7-3 Packers up. Later, Derek Carr rolling to his right, decides to keep it, runs towards the pylon. Oh! Now officials had to review it. A fumble, though, according to the new NFL rules. So, ensuing drive for Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers airing it out to former Whitewater standout Jake Kumaro, a.k.a. Touchdown Jesus. Packers up 21-10. Big spike there, big hug. Raiders trying again. Carr's pass tipped, though, this time by Adrian Amos into the hands of Kevin King. Defense doing some solid work today. To the fourth quarter now, Rodgers to Marquez Valdez-Scantling. MVS led the team in receiving with 2 catches for 133 yards. Matt LaFleur with the best start ever for a Packers first-year head coach at 6-1, and Rodgers thinks this team has been facing challenges and overcoming them.
This was a really important game, I think, for us. Coming off a good stretch where we won a couple really important games, obviously last week, division game, Monday Night Football, 1-point win, and to follow it up without having a letdown. I'm not a big believer in trap games or letdown performances, but I do believe that, the way the schedule has been set up, this has really tested our bodies.
Rodgers with the highest possible passer rating today, also the first player since 1991 with 5 touchdown passes and a rushing touchdown in the same game. Next up, on the road at Kansas City for a Sunday Night Football against the Chiefs. Elsewhere in the NFC North, Vikings in Detroit. We pick it up in the second quarter. Matthew Stafford, the short pass to Marvin Jones Jr., ties the game up at 21. In the second half, though, Kirk Cousins, play action, finds C.J. Ham to take the lead. Vikings never looked back after that. They win 42-30, now 5-2 on the season. The Badgers regrouping after losing to Illinois in Champaign yesterday, dropping out of the top 10 in this week's Associated Press poll. Wisconsin previously 6th, now dropping down to 13th. Ohio State jumping Clemson to number 3. That's where the Badgers are headed for this week's game, if you haven't already heard. Head coach Paul Chryst will speak to reporters tomorrow morning. We'll hear from him tomorrow night. Finally tonight, why are we showing you this random field goal from yesterday's Minnesota-Rutgers game? Well, the holder is Golden Gophers redshirt freshman Casey O'Brien. He's a 4-time cancer survivor and made his season debut yesterday. He was diagnosed with osteosarcoma. That's a rare form of bone cancer. He had that in high school, sharing an emotional hug there with head coach PJ Fleck. And PJ Fleck, usually an emotional guy. He was in tears, obviously, afterwards. Wow. And the good news is that O'Brien, he's been cancer-free for a year now, so that's so awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, more than just
sports. Really good story.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Michelle Carolla. Tonight on the news at 9, a Darlington teen is raising money to help a friend in need of a diabetes dog. We'll share that story for you. It's on Fox 47 after the game.
And we are expecting some rain on the way.
We are. Right now it's still nice. This evening looks really good. The cloud coverage isn't really going to build in until overnight. And then tomorrow, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms possible for most of the day. Temperatures will be in the upper 50s for afternoon highs. It's going to be pretty windy outside also, with a wind gust up to 35 miles per hour possible. For Tuesday, our temps fall back quite a bit in the upper 40s for afternoon highs, with a shower chance mainly just in the morning, and then looking at a mostly cloudy sky for the rest of the day. Wednesday still breezy with a slight chance for showers on Thursday also, but heading into next weekend, it does seem right now that we'll fall into a drier pattern for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
That's some good news just for the weekend. All right, thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night.